welcome to Okaloosa Island. Is that right? Florida? Is that
how you say it? Okaloosa,
Okaloosa. We're not from Florida, but we don't know, but that's where we are.
It's between Destin and Fort Walton Beach.
Yeah.
On the Fort Walton Beach side, on the western side.
So we're excited to be in another state. So now we're in Florida, and we'll bring you guys some footage from our Alabama excursion. We came through Alabama, obviously, to get to Florida from Tennessee. So this is the first time we've brought our rig to the beach. So we're having a really good time. We had a dear friend of ours, her daughter got married. Our daughter was actually in the wedding. She was one of the bridesmaids, and so we're having a really good time visiting in Florida.
It's been fun, and like I said, we're staying in the Destin West RV Resort here, and like I said, it's more on the Fort Walton Beach side, and you can see I don't know what the name of this bay is behind us, but the beach is right across the street, and so we've had access to the beach and pool at a hotel across the street,
resort across the street
for a few days.
So there's probably what do you think, 30 or 40 sites? More than that?
Maybe close to 50.
50 sites here. They're really nice. They're brick paver sites. Obviously you get the Florida vibe, lots of palm trees around you.
So getting to here, this is by far our farthest travel with our RV. It's, from our home in Tennessee to here, it's right at 500 miles, and we've made this trip hundreds, it seems like, times in a car. First time we've pulled the RV. So coming down, we broke it up into two legs about halfway in Hoover, Alabama, and that's what Steph was saying. We stopped there and went to we went to our first Buccee's, and
had our tailgate dinner date.
Yes.
Under the moonlight. That was very nice and romantic.
Yes. Thank you. Barbecue on the tailgate, and then they wouldn't let us film inside without permission, so we didn't do any of that. But it was if you've never been to Buccee's, and I'm sure a lot of you have, I mean, they're kind of dispersed throughout the South, focused maybe in Texas, but it's such a fun store. And
I called it Gatlinburg, Tennessee in a store. That's what I like to call it. If you're familiar with Gatlinburg, it's kind of all of those things right under one roof. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, a lot of shopping, like little, really kind of, I don't know what you call that kind of shop, kind of Cracker Barrel meets Pier 1 kind of thing.
Not quite.
Maybe
Pier
not
1.
that one. But it didn't have a lot of branded Buccee's food items and hunting and home decor type things.
Definitely. And I think they're famous for, or they're known for, their barbecue, their brisket. But let me tell you, we got the fudge. And we got 6 flavors out of probably 20 or 25 that we could have chosen from. And I don't know that I've ever had better fudge in my life. But we both agreed the salted caramel was the way to go. It was delicious. Yeah,
it was good stuff. And you mentioned Gatlinburg, and Gatlinburg's kind of known for fudge. But I think Buccee's knocked him in the creek on the fudge.
Far exceeded that. So a couple of things that have been a little different on this trip. Obviously, like Mark said, this is the furthest we've come. We did have several rainy days, and so we weren't able to use the Blackstone, and so I did use the kitchen more, which I was a little nervous about, because I've heard from folks you don't always want to cook in your rig because it leaves lingering smells behind, or smoke, or you set off the alarm, or all those things. But I made a couple of breakfasts, did some chicken parmesan in the oven while I was watching UT football, and it all turned out really well. So shout out to Grand Design Reflection 340 RDS for the kitchen amenities, because it was just like cooking at home. I didn't have any problems with that. So that was good to know that if we can't grill out, if we can't get the Blackstone out, we can't do things outside, then definitely the oven and the stovetop are great to have. So my thoughts on, like Mark said, we've come to Panama City, Destin, 30A. Like, that's when you live in Tennessee, that's just kind of where you vacation. So we've been here so many times. But obviously this experience has been a little different. Having your home on wheels, I've loved that. It does feel like at the end of the day, you get to go home. And so I've really enjoyed that. So we didn't know kind of how that would be. And then coming as far as we came, we're actually going home tomorrow. We're going to try to make the entire 8.5 hour trip in one drive. So we'll see how that goes. But that's given us a little courage to kind of begin to think about next spring going a little further, taking trips a little further than we've been taking. And when friends ask me about how we're enjoying this experience, I do think it might be different if I didn't have someone that liked all of the setup and the preparing and all the technical side of that, because I never have to think about that. And so Mark admitted on one of our videos about what he loves about RVing that he enjoys that. So I'm grateful for that, because I would not enjoy all of that.
So anyway, yeah, I do try to make sure we don't get in a predicament or pull into somewhere that I can't easily get out of. But we both really noticed right off the bat that we still so far prefer our state parks in Tennessee and the surrounding area. Nothing against Florida, because we've been here 100 times, like we said, and this RV park's really nice rigs, and the people have been fantastic. But just the feel of camping is not quite in a hot, muggy setting.
At least not for us. But it may be because we are so familiar with this area. I think if we lived out west, or we lived where it's cold all the time, we might not feel that way. But for us, we really enjoy the green of forests and trees and the blue lakes and all of that. Beach today, we'd love to go out west and see Arizona and Colorado and the national parks. And so there's a lot we have not seen. So just hear us say that we realize that we've not seen a whole lot, and it may just be our familiarity with Florida and what you do here. Absolutely. So, well, we're going to wrap this up because some shrimp is calling my name. That's what I said I wanted tonight. So we're going to have some outdoor dining on the water, we hope, and have some shrimp.
Seafood in the beach. Yeah. Shocking, right?
Yeah. But as always, if you guys are enjoying our videos, we would appreciate you subscribing, and give us a thumbs up, comment, let us know what you like, what you don't like. Yes. We're enjoying making these and just enjoying our travels.
Yeah. Yeah, a little dip, minor dip.
A minor dip, yes, on our way home, which we shared earlier last night when we were recording that we were going to try to go all the way home today, and we still are, I think. Still are going to do that, but our plan was to get up early, get out, no big deal, and we did a little snack.
Yeah, but a minor dip, we'll explain what it was, but a minor dip on a travel day may escalate it to a medium to major dip, because it did put us behind, like you said.
Like 2.5 hours behind.
2.5 hours.
So if we had somewhere to be, or even if we had to get out of our spot faster, if we hadn't started as early as we did, we started long before checkout, then that could have been a problem. So lessons learned. I remember when we were first buying all the things for the RV, and I thought it was overkill on all the tools and I don't even know what they're called, sockets and wrenches and all. So anyway, Mark has tubs and tubs of tools, which I thought was overkill, and still maybe to some degree, but even then we still did not have the one tool we needed.
Right.
So I guess you never know what's going to go wrong. So that was one thing. Also, shout out to Grand Design, because they answered the phone. The service department walked us through things. So that was in fact, one of our neighbors walked over who had a rig from a different dealer, and he said, I can never get through to their service people or their troubleshooting department. So yay that we were able to do that. And then just everybody's just so nice.
Super nice. I mean, two neighbors came up.
Yes, in RV parks, in RV resorts, we're just RVers, just on the whole, are just the nicest people. Like, so nice. We had so much support and empathy, and people really wanting to try to help. And unfortunately, in this situation, there wasn't a whole lot that could be done. So
just in my mind, having a game plan and knowing who to call, when to call, and was our first little dip.
Right. But we did, because we researched so much before we started. We had heard from so many people that things will go wrong. It's almost inevitable. Things will go wrong, and then you always hear plan for longer than you think you're going to need for travel days for setup, and so we have run into 2 or 3 things with that as well. Like, you know, when the tree had to be cut down, and you know, when we pulled into Alabama just at the beginning of this trip, the weather, and then when we got to set up at the RV park, there was a electrical storm, like lightning all around us, and so you just never know. You never know. So you cannot be in a hurry. You have to give yourself time. So that's something that we're definitely learning is, you know, if you think you have 6 hours, give yourself 8. You know, that kind of thing. Because there's always something. It takes a certain level of patience, of just a mindset of, okay, every little thing can't become a catastrophe. And even the big catastrophes can't become a bigger catastrophe. You just have to be ready for them, prepare for them, and
because I'm bad about that. When something goes wrong, I get a little riled up, and a little hyper, and didn't really get too crazy, but the neighbors were super helpful, very calm. I mean, obviously they were just there to help, and Steph was helpful as well.
For sure. So now we are 6.5 hours from home, hoping for an easy, smooth travel day, getting back to Tennessee from Florida. Little small dip in the road. Is that what you call it? A dip in the road?
I don't know if it's in the road.
A little small dip.
A dip in our travel.
A dip in our travel.
But, you know, I know when we go through Birmingham, that's going to be a lot of dips in the road up there.
True.
That road is awful.
So you said.
Yes.